Okay guys, so it's morning and we're back here, and first I want to change my color theme to a light theme. In mornings I like to use light ID. Actually I don't like this. This one is my favorite. Okay, so we failed at finding a proper indexer here for, just remember what we were doing. We want here in the campaign, we see the user data as something that, not this wallet address. Actually, I want to see the user name and avatar, because in Luxo we have access to this, and this is important because it makes it more human. We don't understand this address. This is for computers. We understand images and names. So we are going to do that. Currently, it seems this is the most challenging part of our workflow, but ideally in future, it shouldn't be. It should be a very straightforward thing. So it's a very good idea for future to build an infrastructure for this. And whenever I'm creating a dApp, I usually create some custom infrastructure for it, but I think in future I'm going to create something generalized that everybody could use. But let's get back to the code that Gemini wrote for us to understand why it cannot do it. I think that there is some merit to the code it wrote, and if we debug it, we probably could find what's wrong. Here is one of the times that knowing how to code is going to be helpful. You know, when you go to the tricky parts, it's going to make sense to know what are you doing. You know, the AI models could help you toward the hard parts, time-consuming parts, but when you get to a tricky part, when doing something very specific, it still needs you to help it. So here in this, it has created a fetch profile function, which is on some use effect, and you don't need to understand this. Usually you have to know it, but because this use effect is a very important part of React development. But I'm trusting AI to set it up properly, this use effect. But I think the problem is what it is doing inside the fetch profile. So I just want to log this data that is getting from ERC725. Okay. Okay, it seems it's getting data. Then I suspect maybe this if statement is not getting run. This is also not the problem. Let's see what we have. Okay. For some reason, it's not getting reloaded. I want to down. Okay, it's assuming that this data have some property value, but it doesn't. It's okay. Okay, okay. I got it. So it's assuming this data.value has a property called LSP3 profile. But the value itself is the LSP3 profile. So I'm going to copy the object. Excel an IPFS URL, which I assume is the LSP3 profile metadata of the user. So let's see whether it can fix it or not. So I'm assuming that this IPFS address is going to have my user profile. Yeah. So the way it was handling this data was wrong, because it needs to, this data.value doesn't contain the profile data itself. It has a link to the profile data. So we need to first fetch this data and this metadata, and then it could resolve it, I think. Okay, now it works. Okay, great. Support pairs will be fetched. So let's go for the next step, and that's now we want to handle the metadata of this project properly. And the way we do that in Luxo is we have, let me clean this browser. We have something called LSP4 metadata. And I'm going to use here, I'm going to the li piece, and I'm going to LSPs, I'm going to LSP for metadata. Also, there is a verifiable URI format. Okay. So here is the magic. You used to read all of these specifications to understand how this things works, and you're probably going to mess up so many things, and after 2 days of trying, you finally probably could figure out how to properly deploy a metadata object for an NFT in Luxo. But now, so I'm asking it to set up a metadata object for me for this campaign before actually doing the transaction. I'm asking it for now to comment out the transaction itself in launching and just log the metadata so we make sure that metadata is right. Okay. Not right now. Okay. One thing you may notice is our code is starting to get ugly. For example, in the support card, it's not super bad, but in a big app, you really don't want this. But here it's okay, I suppose. And here, this is really the most powerful thing about Luxo. It's like you don't have a wallet, you have an identity. And people could understand your identity instead of just a wallet, which doesn't make sense. I want to read a bit about the smart contract and how we are handling the metadata. Okay. I think we need to change the way we are handling smart contracts. We are going to change our contracts. And it's okay, building is a iterative process. You build something and then you understand that you were doing it wrongly, and then you try to fix it. Yeah, let's do something.
I have a question for you. Which one is...
Let's put this. Okay. It says the metadata is in the description. It generated it kind of properly, but I want to add some feature here. I want to this metadata get uploaded in IPFS using Pinata, and for this you're going to need an API key from Pinata, and I'm going to hide my API key here. I'm going to provide it in the end file, but you are not going to see it. But you can go get your own API key from Pinata yourself. It's not complex. You just need to go to the Pinata and you log in and get your key. Is it the most decentralized way to do it? No, but it is very straightforward. I want to go over my plan and let's start the plan again. I want you to create custom code for uploading both metadata, and I also want to upload the image into the Pinata as well. So both metadata and the campaign image into the IPFS using Pinata. I would provide the Pinata key in the end variable. It must be done using a Next.js API upload. And for creating the final metadata, you first need to upload the image, then generate the verifiable URI of the image, and then use that to create the campaign metadata. Then you need to upload that metadata, and then you need to create a verifiable URI of that metadata. And at the end, log the end verifiable URI, also all of the steps data. So we are going to plan. I did this because Gemini is very good at doing things at the first shot. So I want to use it to the full power in the first shot. the thing I want to change for the contract is I thought it doesn't make sense to have LSP8 for each contract. Instead, I'm going to create an LSP7, and for users that fund more, they are going to get more LSP7s of that type. I mean, LSP7s make perfect sense because the only difference between a token and another token, the NFT token that a user gets from another, is the amount of it, the amount they funded. So it's not really different, it's just like different amounts. So LSP7 makes a lot more sense. So yeah, we are going to do it with LSP7. Also, I want to include some kind of psychology for this. So currently, this target amount is meaningless because it's just something that is not really mean anything. But I think if you reach the target, no more people could fund it. So if that's the case, we are going to if nobody else could fund it, it might seem like a bad idea because why you don't want to get overfunded. But the problem is people love scarcity. So the psychology of crypto works and creating a scarcity. And if you limit the supply to the target amount, when you reach the target, no more people could get your asset. Basically, we are giving them some asset as a token of contribution. So if nobody else could get that asset, it makes urgency for people to fund you earlier so you could get to the target faster. So right now we are creating a upload road in the Next.js side for us to use the Pinata API to upload an IPFS file. Ideally, this must have some kind of authentication so the people do not abuse the system. And for now, I think it's okay if people try to abuse it because we have very little use here. And when you have these kind of problems, it's like these are kind of good problems because it means you have an audience. You don't want to have these problems, they can hurt you, but at the start it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now I'm going to pause it and put my Pinata key and you would longer be able to see this end.local file. So we are going to do it, and I'm going to test it here. Okay, now that I imported my key here. Okay, now that I imported my key, I'm going to test it. Let's put image. So it's giving me some weird error, and I'm going to just copy and paste it here. I think my JWT for the Pinata had some problem. I'm going to pass here and generate it again with proper permissions. Maybe the permissions was the problem. And let's try it again. Okay. It must upload my image as well. Okay, it's also uploaded my image. And I'm kinda not sure whether this must be a normal URL or LSP4 meta, a verifiable URI for this image. So I'm going to check LSP4 docs. Okay, it's showing me the final verifiable URI, but I like to see I like to see okay, it seems this is right. Okay. So yeah, this is uploading proper URI here. So now I want you to use that metadata and upload it in the and now I want to use that metadata and upload it. Not upload it, and use it when we are URI metadata creating the campaign transaction. Okay, let's see. Okay, another thing that I need is when launching a campaign, I wanted to wait for transaction to get confirmed, and after it confirmed, it refetched this query that is fetching the data for the campaigns. So I think the transaction is not confirmed, and if you see this data here. These videos are coming from currently a placeholder, so these both are same, but this is for the new campaign. Okay. So now what I want is I want to get the campaign data from that metadata that we stored on this. Already stored data as an ls before metadata with verifiable URI. And I'm going to provide it both these docs to the ls-before metadata and also the verifiable URI. Now I want to fetch the campaign data from the URI from the URI of the campaign. We have done something similar in the support part for the LS53 profile data. Now you need to do the same for campaign LS before data. To see how we organize data in the campaign launch time. I want to read a bit about my contract since I need to change this. I want to see who is the owner of this contract. Okay. The plan is ready. Let's see whether it can properly load data from it. while it's going, I'm going to brew some coffee for myself. Actually, this. Okay. I think it fucked up. Okay, sometimes it doesn't work the best it does. I think it creates a campaign metadata component, which is not exactly what we want. We want to, I think you create a campaign metadata component, not what we want. We want to integrate the metadata of the campaign into our current campaign release and campaign items. While it does do this thing, I'm going to create a cup for myself. Okay, nice. Now it's loading the campaign metadata properly. Okay, it seems really good. Now one thing that I want is, like here, we are showing the recent supporters here. We are fetching this data from the chain, the universal profile. I want to make this created by also fetch similar to this, but currently this code is very coupled to the supporter card. So I want to create a more reusable component, reusable hook to get an LSP3 profile and then use it here. Support, we are fetching the profile data, but that's very create a reusable hook to fetch the profile and then description. But before that, let's store the version. Okay, now it's showing the creator of the campaign as well. Let's store this version. Okay, so what's left? I think I know. So when we used to create the campaign, we came to the campaign page without loading it. So I want to ask you to, when we are before the transaction is confirmed, we move to the main page. I want you to wait for transaction confirmed, and then I want you to move to the wait a bit. I want you to wait a bit and move the. I want you to wait for transaction confirm and wait a bit for it to get indexed, and then move to the campaign page itself. Also, after the confirmation, please refresh both the campaign details and campaign list query. Let's see what it does. Okay, let's see whether it worked. I don't want to use this your YouTube video. I prefer to use something.
Live coding 101.
So we can watch whether it gets loaded. Oh, okay. So it seems creating this campaign, since you need to upload, deploy a contract, is gas intensive, and it used all of my relayer quota. So I'm going to fund my controller. To pay for it myself. Okay, I founded my controller, so I should be good to launch the campaign. Okay, it worked. Yeah. So what's left is we need something for creators to actually withdraw the funds they have raised. So let's do that now. Now in the campaign detail page, we need a component for if the connected user is the campaign creator, it should be able to withdraw funds from the campaign. If funds exist component in the campaign. Yep, let's put it here. We are going to change these things a bit because I changed my mind. I think I want to make it the way that a campaign must be finished till the creator could get the funds. And while it's not finished, user could, if it's not finished at the time, user could get back their money. So yeah, we created a traditional, more traditional like crowdfunding. sometimes the model give you these errors, and all you need to do is copy and paste it. Most of the times it will fix it. So because I'm not the creator of this campaign, I shouldn't see this model, but yeah, now that I'm the creator of this campaign, I could see this without funds. So let's see whether it works. Currently, I have 0 balance. Let's withdraw it and see what happens. I want to add the refetch to the query. Yeah, now I have 7 legs. Now I have to. Okay. I want you to add a refetch on the query. Wait for confirmation, and then it's confirm, refresh the I think now we have created the main stuff. I cannot think of anything more. I need to change the contracts and logic a bit, but I think with these contracts we are ready. We could create campaign, we show the campaigns, we could raise campaign, and we see the list of supporters. Yeah. In the next stage, I want to change the campaigns from LSP7s to LSP8s to LSP7s and give users the exact amount and showing here how much they have of this token, and make the create a deadline for the campaign and make only withdrawable if the campaign target is reached. So let's take a break and we'll get back to it. Okay, let's get back to the work. So I want to change the contract, and let's go here, create a new. Let's add the last version. So I want to say currently the campaign is a LSP8 contract, and the only different identifiable amount of the funding. But it doesn't make sense. Because if that's the case, it would be better off if we just simply create an LSP7 contract. Change the campaign from LSP8 to LSP7. Also, I need a couple of other things. I want to add a deadline to a campaign. If the campaign doesn't reach its goal by the deadline, it should be founders should be able to withdraw their tokens. Each token, same amount in licks. The campaign should not be able to be actually I want it to be overfundable, and it makes sense, but after the deadline you could no longer fund the campaign. Well, to be fundable after the campaign deadline. The campaign could be overfundable, and till the campaign doesn't reach its goal, the creator could not withdraw the funds. Okay, I think this is good. This should do the job. Wait a second. Adjust the test properly for the new sets of features. let's build them. So after we created this new contracts, we are going to adjust our indexer, and it should be very minimal. And then we would need to also adjust our front end. We have a few new flows. First is the campaign is going to have a deadline. We need to add an input for the deadline, and we need to put the withdrawable fund is only if the campaign reached its goal. And the last is if the campaign doesn't reach its goal, user should be able to get back their money. So we need to add this stuff too. And it's a good thing to understand that building things is iterable. You have to iterate over it. And one of the hard things about building a dApp is iterating a smart contracts. It's hard when you deploy them. So a good initial design might be a necessary before going for production. But yeah. I'm also going to add some kind of, this is an alpha software, be extra vigilant to the front end. Okay. So let's see what it does. So it added a deadline to the campaign created event. Now it's get a duration. Okay. And it will take an initialize. Well, what I'm saying, no, initialized, it was initialized. It changed it to LSP7, and it will initialize it to campaign owner, visible, false, deadline, fund. Okay, you can fund whatever you want. It will fund the same amount as you use. It's non-reinterent, and withdrawal is also non-reinterent. Refund is also non-reinterent. These non-reinterencies are kind of important, especially in Luxo, because these LSP7 and LSP8s have some kind of notifications in the user profile, and that might cause some things, some security issues that doesn't happen with ERC20s, because a profile could add some kind of code that re-enter a contract. It's best practice to put non-reentrant on all the Luxo money changing contracts. Okay, I like it. Campaign has not ended. This seems right as well. And test funding. So what it does is changing the NFT stuff and just checking the balance of campaign, test funding after deadline, late fund. Let's see. So okay, now I want to ask it what we need to change the deploy contract. Deploy here. This added this banner, but I don't like it. And the actual header, I want it to be under the header. Under. Problem here is somebody might not read it, and since these danger signs are the same color as the background. Okay, it seems we don't need to change the deployment script. So yeah, we should be good. Let's deploy the contract again. I like it now. Okay, let's wait for our transaction to be confirmed. Okay, the contract is ready, I guess. Explorer. Okay, we have this. I'm going to verify it. Let me ask how. How to So let's see whether this works. So it should be verified now. But the implementation is not, the campaign is not verified yet. So most of the things is like you have to ask a model to what to do and just do it. The important part is to understand what you must ask and what's the next steps and what you want to do. But if you know what you want to do, doing it is not hard anymore. And this part used to be the hardest part, the most time-consuming part. But now, it's the easy part. So yeah, the things has gotten a lot easier, and I love technology. now I think this should be verified as well. Okay. Now we need to copy these and open the indexer code base. Let's save this version. We have changed our contract and changed the company from LS7 to LS8. I already adjusted the API files, but you have to change the rest. Here are contracts. So I'm going to copy them. New feature added a pair option. Then I'm going to copy the APIs. This is Premier Factory, and this is the Premier campaign. Mention tree. Oh, I set the wrong. I think I need to first test it to deploy thing. Okay, when I wanted to compile this, I got these errors. These are not errors, these are warnings. And okay. Okay, now these are updated. Lots of programming is just going through errors and find what's wrong because you make a lot of mistakes. And mistakes are inevitable. The hard problem about coding a smart contract is mistakes are kind of expensive. You know, even if a highly audited DeFi protocols like balancers got hacked and lost hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's the hard part of the technology. Let me see whether these are. Okay, this is the LXP7 version. Speed and LXP7. Okay, now the plan is ready, and let's put it to build. So it added a deadline to the campaign, it added refunds, and it created a refund type, and changed the contract factory address. It seems doing its job. Okay. Now, let me comment the thing. Let's really from scratch. Okay, so let's call this commands and run this again. So one thing is we deployed a new contract and the block has changed, so starting block has changed, so let's use the new block number. So we should see no campaigns now. And then we could go back to our front end to implement the new contract stuff. Okay. So okay, we need to update the contract factory address from our end variables. It's here. So I updated the end variables and we should be able to adjust it now. Okay, so the campaign doesn't have the token ID now, and so we need to adjust our queries. There's no longer token ID on the contribution. So for fixing this, I want to copy this query here and okay. So this, if we remove token ID, we should be totally fine. We have to add deadline. Contributions, refunds, and you got since we adjusted our indexer, we need to update indexer queries. Otherwise, it's giving us error because we no longer have token ID on the contributions. It's just the amount. So, yeah. Also, as you can see, we have some code inconsistency that in future, currently the app is very limited scope. In future, if we want to build version 2, which we want, we are going to first refactor this code base. So we are going to adjust it, and now no campaign is found. So we have to create campaign, my awesome campaign. Okay, so now we need to adjust the API since we also changed the contract. We have changed the APIs of the contract in the indexer. Now we have to do it in the front end. This is the Premier Leaks campaign, and this is the Premier Leaks factory. We have upgraded our contracts, and I already updated the API. And the factory new address. You have to now in the launching of campaign, we also have a deadline, which is campaign duration. Create a proper select duration with nice UI and nice UX in the campaign launch page and adjust the necessary transactions document for it. So this is a bug, we have to fix it. And we're going to that later. But for now, it's okay. So the selected duration is not good. The text doesn't have contrast. Also, I want to be let's go with this. want to see how 12. Use the selected background man. It's annoying now. The Gemini problem is sometimes it fuck up when in the next prompts. It rarely works well on the first prompt, but on the second prompt sometimes it acts weird. Okay, now it's nice. So I want to do a campaign for 10 minutes so I could test a couple of features. Test campaign, TC, some test campaign for whatever reason. We're gonna use an image for it. And a video URL, target amount, and licks. Okay. Oh. So it's limiting me to be the campaign duration be more than 1 day, but in the contract it's not there. There is no limit on the campaign duration. So basically, you could create a very fast campaign, but the creator himself doesn't want it. He wants to put enough time so people could fund it, and I think it should be fixed now. Okay, the campaign is created. Okay. I want to feature both in campaign detail and campaign card to show me a countdown with proper representation and days if more than the hours, minutes, months. And so I want the campaign show me whether a campaign is how much the duration it remains, so users have better understanding of what they are getting into. Okay, it's now showing me how much from the campaign it remains. That's nice. So we store the version. Now I want to be able to found this campaign. I'm going to it needs 5 licks. Okay, so now it shows the withdrawal funds, but we want to only show it when the actual campaign goal is reached. Since we have changed the contract, it's not possible to withdraw funds before the campaign reaches its goal. So let me try this. It should give me, yeah, it shows an error. Let's go. It must not show withdrawal funds option. The campaign. wait for it to do. Okay, it removed it. Now I want to add a feature if a campaign doesn't reach on its goal and the duration is finished. It must show the campaign has failed, and it must let the supporters to withdraw their funds, get refunded. Cool. Then also user founders versus founder. actually, I don't want this to be an agent run. I wanted to first plan it and then run it. Okay, let's build. Campaign failed. Okay, it's nice. So now we can no longer support the campaign. Okay, so if we come with the, okay, since we have funded this campaign, we could just get a refund and okay, we got our refund. And yeah, this is nice. There is, okay, this is failed also here. And I like this to be this. Now I want to create a campaign, another campaign here. ATCTV. Let's go to 10, and we're going to go for again 10 minutes. Okay, 8 minutes created by. Okay, let's support it from this account. I actually want, similar to failed state, I want to show the active and you know, doing there are things that we are doing here. It's like just small tweaks, and these tweaks used to take a lot of time, and yeah, we basically created this almost a fully featured, not fully featured, working version of Kickstarter on chain in like 6 hours. And doing something like this used to take months. And there was no better time than being a builder. Really. Okay. I want to fill this campaign, but I want to support it in 2 times because I think this recent supporters component need some tweaks. Okay, now I want to do another. I suspect probably here going to show one user 2 times. Okay, goal reached. And let's try it another time. And so I want to also check here that whether I could withdraw it. Okay, the campaign is ongoing, but since the goal is reached, I can withdraw it now. What's wrong here? Okay. So let's go here. Okay, we have the successful badge. Okay, I think if we fix this, here in the recent supporters, I just want to make sure I could withdraw funds before the campaign ends. Eventually, I like to create some better pop-up instead of default alert. I might just add it right now, but yeah. Let's put it on the plan. Supporters. User shows only a single icon. Also on the right side, I want to show the amount they supported. Also, I don't want it to be recent supporters. I want to show all supporters ordered by the total amount supported. Okay. Okay, so let's build this plan. And I think we are almost at the end of the thing. I just want to also add this alert to use a custom model instead of this alert. Okay. Seems fine, but now we have only this. Okay, this is something error. Okay, we need to remove the support option after the campaign is ended. Support option. Support option. Okay, this is nice. Support. Now here it's showing me 3 supporters. I want to be 1 supporter because we have done it in 3 times. We have 3 contributions, but the contributions is from the same account, so 1 supporter. Okay, it's fixed now. So now I want to, instead of using browser default alert that you saw, I want to create a reusable dialog component which have different states for error or success. And instead of using alerts, we use our custom dialog. And then we use so I think when it's done, we're officially finished. Of course, it could be a lot better. It could have a lot more features, and the data loading is not perfect, but I think it's pretty good start for a 6 hours project. Yeah, I think it's now, we are in the 7th hour, but still not 7 hours. This might take a while. Also, we have to take care of this alpha banner because it goes over here. Okay. Let's create. This is the third something. TT.
Today we're going to create a data.
I'm using a 30-day so I could see more stuff about this. Okay, it shows 29 days. Okay, let's support fund leaks. Okay, this is a nice looking model now instead of the default. Okay, this seems great. I think we are ready. Okay, we create almost a full Kickstarter version. Of course, there are lots of small details that is not here, but I think it's a great start. Also, I need to change this. Okay, we need to change these and it would be ready, but change this token. Also, the alpha banner must be to the other scroll position get zero. Okay, I now just want to use the universal everything to get to my own grid and see whether I could do it. I could use it within the grid. Okay. Okay, the grid also seems fine. It's processing the transaction. Token received. Okay. It refreshed. 251. That happened because the cursor was updating the code base. So yeah. Goal reached, and I want to check it from this. Oh, okay. So since this is on local network, I could only check it from own my own profile. So it doesn't work on another profile that's trying to reach it. So I'm going to deploy this, and I'm not taking video from the deploying stuff. Maybe in future I give you some tutorial on deploying. But basically, I'm going to use Vercel to deploy this Next.js app and use the standard script deployment for deploying indexer, and we already deployed the contracts. I'm going to generate a new contract, deploy a new version with more secure private key as the deployer, since I have shown you this current deployer private key in this video. And yeah, and I'm going to create a specific video to demo what we have built in the 6 hours. I'm going to edit this, put this up, and going to create on the main deployed version, going to create the first campaign, which will be going on this video. And I'm going to offer, if the campaign is successful, I'm going to create the version 2 of this Premier Lakes, and in the version 2 I'm going to add a fee on the campaigns for the protocol fee, and going to distribute that fee to the people who support that campaign to show you how these tokens could be useful. So yeah, we've done our first project, and it took a while, but I think it worth it.